Hi, my name is Samuel Valentine, and this is my good news. I've been attending gospel church for 2.5 years since September of 2022. Being a part of this church has allowed me to look in on my life and realize where I am in my walk with God. My good news is I was raised Catholic. I attended church with my mom. My dad was agnostic. He believed there was a God, but he never gave his life to God. Right? I used to attend church. I used to go through the religion, and at some point, I strayed from the path. I would say a little bit, but it was a lot. I started practicing Wicca. It's a form of witchcraft. It's a pagan tradition, and in that, things were going well, and things were going not well at the same time. I realized that I was getting everything I wanted. Right? I would ask for money, I'd get money. I would ask for specific things, I get those specific things. Ask for relationships, and I get relationships. But on the other hand, like my health started deteriorating. I was diagnosed with fatty liver disease. My mental health went downhill. I was diagnosed with severe anxiety, depression at some point, and just like my relationships with those closest to me, with my brother, went downhill. My relationship with my dad, my mom, it went downhill. And eventually I ended up going on a youth retreat. On this youth retreat, I had my first encounter with Jesus. It's hard to explain. Like being in a room filled with other kids my age, 13 to 18 years old, singing worship. I was overcome with this overwhelming feeling of peace, of everything that was going wrong, not having mattered, everything that was going right, not satisfying. A passage that kept coming up during this time, which was ironically, it was spoken to Samuel. It was, "I've called you by name, you are mine." And I just kept hearing this come up and come up, and I couldn't escape it. Like I just kept hearing Jesus calling my name, claiming me as his. And so I decided at that point to get to know Jesus. And I didn't give my life to him. I just decided to get to know him as a person, as a historical figure, if you want to call it that. In getting to know Jesus, I realized that the expectations that were laid before me, or the desires that I have, who I was called to be, changed at that point. I was no longer like Samuel, the kid from the Bronx. I was now a child of God. I mean, it was the best decision I ever made in my life. I ended up leaving the Catholic faith. I found gospel church, and I decided to start attending. And at first I was kind of judgmental. I kind of kept my distance from people, and I always asked like why these people were smiling and what they're so happy about. And then I heard that first sermon that Billy had to preach, and it spoke directly to me. And it answered all of those questions that I had 10 years after I decided to get to know Jesus, that I would say I officially gave my life to him. I serve on the dream team because it gives me the chance to put others before myself. It gives me the chance to, I guess, live out what I preach in serving others. To someone who's struggling and wants to thrive, I would say to lean into that still small voice. Whether they're young or old or rich or poor, God has called them individually by name. Lean into who he's calling you to be, because it's not just your name, it's your identity.